Welcome back. How India can birth the software product giant. How India can make itself as a software product giant manufacturing and developing hub destination. The several factors that are need to be overcome together to create the ecosystems that enables and encourage the creation of global software product. The global product giant in software industry can be made through India. India has shown the promises to create those global size category winners in versatilized, spaced in those enterprises, software as a service industries. But we also don't have a clear path ahead either in consumers or the platform. The Indian IT industries and the technology industries are on a roll. IT industry is shining just because of the overwhelming more than 60% of global outsourcing market share in India. The Bangalore is leading in the front. The total GDP of the Karnataka state is lonely contributed by a single city, Bangalore, more than 80%. That's a phenomenal data. And the global startup space is booming with those venture capital and the private equity partnership that's starting to rival those Indian public market inflows via foreign direct investment. The country already has 56 unicorns till date, with the 20 of them being born in 2021 itself. Till date, the pandemic has dramatically accelerated the mass digitalizations and the internet penetration and adoption of these IT industries. That's showcasing all this optimism via the bargaining internet uses. Increase those investment flows, growing those valuations, and the deepening those marketplace of digital product services along with the services. And the one area that continues to be a bit of a vacuum in this global software product market space is that we don't have any notable success in the countries largely to the stranglehold of those American companies. Will India produce its own version of Google, Apple, Microsoft? It's a question that gets asked around the Indian tech circle very often than not. India is not what comes to mind when thinking of the most innovative, successful global software product. Like those mid or US tech giants have produced so far in the last 15-20 years. Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, all these US tech giants to be staged to be certain started blipping on those radars 10 years ago. If you are asked those questions, what will the next generation of global software product companies come from? India would have drawn a complete blank. But this is not the case now. Let's separate those software product space into its constituent buckets. Three segments has been emerged. The enterprise or the SaaS, software as a service platform and the applications, the consumer product, and the core platform and the infrastructures. In the enterprise space, India is clearly on a promising path and has fast emerging as a nursery of the next generation software as a service platform and a product delivery item that will make those mark on the world stage. Some interesting startup like Zoho, Freshwork, Postman, Innovator and SignEasy are those emerging as the category leader in their respective segment, something that has worked with the emergence of replicable global playback areas and that come from the startup that has been quick to learn and adopt to the advantages. According to the fact that the number one responsibility to making an India startup ecosystem to be stable and growing with its entrepreneurs, everyone angel investor, accelerator and a venture capitalist, mentors and network commutators. They are the catalyst to help those entrepreneurs to succeed, but we all exist because of those entrepreneurs. The number one task of the entrepreneurs is to solve the problem solving product that the customer, the society, the environment is required, the ecosystem is demand for. They are arguing with those utilities and the innovation that's driven by those requirements, the demand. We often say that the invention is the mother of those demand, requirement, necessity. To solve the problem with those great solution, either by raising those money or generate through the cash from the customer, so that you break even those very fast. The biggest challenge that find to expectation, the mismatch between the entrepreneurs and the investors. Very small percentage of investors and entrepreneurs are fundable based on the idea, the size of the market, the background and the potential outcome of the market size, market strategies to implement those gaps and fulfill those requirements. Expectation mismatch must be addressed, held on those understanding of why the companies get funded, and if the company is not fundable, then you better get to revenue generating mode first. The important strategy for the entrepreneurship businesses to be a fast mover, not be a fast mover, because the scope of this fast mover sectors is become a narrowing day by day. It's become a teeny portion of this industry. You want to be a fast mover to be sustained in this competitive market, to get back to the space in this competitive field, to generate those ideas about those solutions. You don't have to look far. The success of India's stack platform in Indian state has offered with this innovative drive and with those entrepreneurs who have focused around the revenue generation on day one, where they know the idea is not big enough for fundraising. By the way, the two major startups that are raised money and both grew to a sizable revenue creation, for it is not been excited. We have to be a more open and adaptive system and forget about the fear of failure or lack of fund. The fund is not the issue to grow a startup or scale up those startups. The biggest cause why people don't try and experiment, they are scared of the family, failures, friends, colleagues. The day India will start accepting those failures with its very little smile, we will solve those major drawbacks. Apart from this, the startup ecosystem is not about a mystical, it's about the real entities. It's simply an aggregation of the startup that people find the ecosystem to improve and impact the influence of individual startup. And every entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneurs should first contribute at least 2 acts of giving before expecting anything back. They will give the most return after a certain period of time with continuous effort, involvement, strategy and the execution of those prerequisite model of success the most entrepreneurs should follow to build a great ecosystem within the startup field. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.